So here we are. Vote of no confidence today against the government. This day last week we were on the road, so we were from all quarters heading for Dublin. Truckers, tractors, farmers, builders, plant hires, small businesses, taxis, bus companies, all suffering, all afraid, and all looking into the future with no confidence, right? And that's why it happened. Okay, totally neglected by representative bodies and companies or organisations that are never fighting for their members. And the people of Ireland came together from every corner and gave this country a protest that went beyond the protest. It was like an uprising. And everyone could see the hundreds of thousands of people that were involved. Hundreds of thousands of people that were involved. And our government will come out on the radio and the television now and say that you can't have a few people holding the country to ransom. But what the government forget is those few people run the country. The government just run it into the ground, but the few people that they talk about, do everything. Everything you have, everything you own was on a truck. Everything you eat was made by a farmer, was grown by a farmer. Like, the farmers can't survive without us, the contractors. The bus companies transport your children to school, to the swimming, to the football games, to the everything. The builders build the house you live in. They build the pub you drink in. They build the hospital. They build the local doctors you go to. When will the reality hit home to people that, like, one of the biggest builders in Ireland, actually the biggest builder in Ireland, was on the protest and said that building is going to grind to a halt. And I feel very deflated. I know everyone else does, because instead of our government sitting up like adults and saying, we have a situation here, we have hundreds of thousands of our people who feel unrepresented and feel unhappy. And that's not good. These are our people and we need to speak to them. These people have asked for a meeting, we've refused. Well, we've ignored. So now they've come to the cities and they've come to the ports and they've come everywhere to try and get our attention. Well, they've got our attention, so call them in. We need to talk to these people and see, what are we going to do? No. What the government decided to do is insult us, ridicule us. Look at that. Like, we're here now, oh, don't talk to me. I don't even want to have these tractors out doing that, to be honest with you. So I don't. But life goes on. Now, that's what the government done. They said, no, let me see, we'll punish these people. We'll get all the guards. We'll get the army. You know, don't talk to them. Whatever you do, don't talk to them. We'll bully them. We'll drag them out of tractors. You know, what we'll do is we'll even send up to the north and we'll bring down the PSNA and we'll give them Garda uniforms. Now, I don't know if many people know this, but last Sunday morning we were in Dublin, and I'm glad it was video recorded, but I thought there was 500 or 600 guards, and then I thought, am I exaggerating by saying this? But the figures are out. 1,600 Garda were involved in the sweeping of the street in O'Connell Street. Now, there was about 20 of us there. There was a few lads in tractors asleep. There was a few lads in trucks asleep. And when you're a week into this, like, we had every spare hostel bed and you name it, anyone that was cheap. And there was young lads hotbedding in these fucking things, getting out of bed and another fella getting into it. And I know, like, people say, oh, you've got a GoFundMe page. Well, yes, and none of us have access to that. There's a world of money in that, and that'll have to be done through the right channels. It'll have to be nearly, I don't know, there'll have to be a independent person put over that so that it can be used. Because, like, I don't want access to it. I don't want somebody saying, oh, look, that fella's he bought a new tractor, he must have used the gun. You know, I wouldn't get my fingers near that. And, you know, people have to understand that, and people will get help and that. But that's down, you know, that takes a bit of time. Let's face it, it's only Tuesday. But, as I say, the mounted police came on horseback into O'Connell Street. We had the helicopter on us for about 20 of us, and most of them were young. There was 2 young fellas there behind me, and they were absolutely terrified. Terrified. And I could hear them, Christy, we're going to be arrested. And we're going to be all right. And I just said to them, we'll be okay, lads. We came peacefully. We've been peaceful all throughout, and we will go peacefully. Because we're not going to have anyone said that we're thugs or anything like that. And when the guards and all these other fucking artillery arrived, as in jeeps and vans and helicopters and mounted police and the fucking, what did you call them, the raid squad or whatever. That was the first time we were asked to move. That was the first time. So due process was completely thrown to one side. No guard asked anyone to move. Nobody asked anyone to do anything. And then they just send in 1,600 cops to a crowd of maybe 20 people on the street. That's 80 guards for every one protester. And not one protester even used as much as a bad word. Now, is that how you want your taxpayers' money spent? When all it would have took was one meeting for all of us to go home. It's very sad. We're in very sad times. And up there in Dublin, when things would get dark at night and the place would get silent, and the only people going round was, you know, a few unfortunates, and they spaced over, like, my God. Like, there was one lad above asked me where I was from one night, and I said I was from Navan. And his response to that was, oh, Navan, oh, I'm buried there, he said. And I said, yeah, what? Navan, yeah, I'm buried in Navan. Oh, right. And I said, where? And he said, in the ground. I said, all right, Lord of mercy on you. And he kept going. That's all that was moving in Dublin them nights. But we were there. And you'd be leaning over a bin, or you'd be sitting on a step, or maybe at your tractor or that, or, you know, you could be in supermarket getting a cup of tea or something, and the chat had started with a truck driver or something, and sitting with two lads in trucks, sitting the guy with them, and we got a cup of tea in supermarkets. And one of them said, you know what this is? This is a great distraction from reality. He said, this is a distraction from the reality, he said, that this is probably, this protest, he said, is my last job in my truck. He said, and I don't want to go home from here, he said, because all I'm going home to is the reality of the bills that'll be lying on the mat waiting for me. The fact that my partner is gone because the financial pressure was just too much. And the fact, he said, that the truck will go first. And then he said, look, the house is going to go shortly. But he said, while I'm up here fighting to get the price of diesel down, it's a distraction from all that. That was one. Cormac, he's put this out there. Cormac McBreen, he won't mind me saying it, hell of an operator. Serious good head on his shoulders. And this is what worries me. Cormac can be way, way, way smarter than me now. Financially, like, he has his finger is on the pulse, like. He said to me in Dublin, he said, Christy, if we don't get a deal on the diesel, he said, I'm pulling the pin because it's not financially working. And he said to me, you be very careful, he said, don't wait until you're broke to quit. He said, you quit before you go broke and you can get out with something. And he left Dublin Sunday with his crew of drivers that never left Dublin. They were there for the week. And drove home, and he pulled up at the graveyard, at his grandfather's grave, on the way home, passing down through County Meath, heading back to County Cavan. And then he got back on his tractor and he headed for home, and he announced that night that he was finished because the package from government had come out and it was nothing. Like, it really is nothing. Like, you can delve into rebates and you can delve into all this. It's nothing. It's buttons. It's nothing. So, I don't know. The government will win this vote today of confidence. So they'll win it. The rural TDs won't do anything for their constituents. It's all about power. It's all about being in government, and it's all about the pension. And the fact that so many of us came out, and let's face it, we did bring the country, you might say, to a standstill. But the people who were against us, they were tiny. They were the minority by, 1,000 to 1. Like, there was nothing but support. And every one of those people were behind us, and every one of those people realise now that in Ireland, if you're in trouble, you're going to remain in trouble. Because there's no support. None whatsoever. And our government now proved that protest will not be accepted, will not be allowed, and that they will just bully, drag, abuse their own people just to say we don't talk to protesters. Just as Maggie Thatcher allowed an entire economy to collapse because she didn't talk to strikers in England when the coal miners went on strike. And farmers in my line of work, I'm sorry, But buckle up, because silage cutting, all that kind of work that's coming up very shortly, the increases that you'll be seeing in your bills coming from contractors is really going to make you question the viability going forward of your business. But to me, and it's not often I'm speechless, we have a system in Ireland now where we had elections in the past and people ran in those elections because they weren't happy with government and what government were doing. Okay? You have the Healy Rays, you have Box on Morn, Matty McGrath, Carol Nolan, Maria, whatever you call her. You've all these people. What are they going to do today? Look at Willie Yard below in Portlaoise. Like, what are they going to do with their vote today? They are rural TDs, representatives, and they're going to support the government. So look, that's it. Everybody now in them streets and roads and ports and everywhere they went, you can hold your head up high because you've done a good thing. But we won't be holding our heads up high. So we won't. Because it's very hard to hold your head up high when all you see in front of you is darkness. Like, we could do no more. We stayed till they dragged us away. And everyone is burnt out and wore out. I see myself here, I'm all ulcers in my mouth and fucking everything due to lack of sleep and lack of nourishment and just, pure torture. And oh look, that's it. The way it is, we have businesses all over the country running on the last tank of diesel. And the Irish government are standing up, patting themselves on the back for the job they done. And in my own area here, my local minister, TD, is Helen McEntee. I've known Helen all my life. Known her from she was a child. She used to go out with a cousin of mine. We used to drink in her father's pub. Her father was a nice man. Helen is unrecognisable to the girl she was when she was a child. Helen could have lifted the phone and rang me. Helen knows that I'm approachable. You know what I mean? That I can be spoken to. She knows I am reasonable. I do an awful lot for charity, an awful lot in the local area, fundraising and helping out with things. And, as I say, Helen could have lifted the phone to me any night last week and said, Christopher, is there any way we can resolve this? But no, she phoned the army.